Government unions control America and rob taxpayers blind. Mallory Factor is the author of the book. So I'm joined right now by Mallory Factor. Mallory, good afternoon and welcome to the Rush Show with Mark Belling.
Mark, thank you so much for having me.
I want to get right to it here. Your title, the subhead on the book, Government Unions Control America and Rob Taxpayers Blind. Is that hyperbole or can you back that up? Government unions control America.
Well, let's look at it. Let me put it in perspective. In 1962, January 62, President Kennedy wanted to figure out a way of having a permanent piggy bank for the Democrat Party. And he passed an executive order. The executive order's number was 10988. And what that basically did is it allowed huge amounts of unionization in the public or government sector. And what that has done is that has created huge revenue streams for these unions. These unions now take in over $14 billion a year just in dues. That's the size of the economies of a lot of countries. And they say they only use 20 to 30% to represent their members. What do you think they do with a lot of it? They use it for political purposes.
And I think that part and some of the numbers that you have in the book are stunning, really. I think most Americans think that the union dues that these government unions are charging, they're using it for the union organizing, and they're using it when they have an arbitration hearing in the workplace, and they're using it when they bring in the negotiator to negotiate the new contract with the school board, and so on. You state, however, that that's only where a fraction of the money goes, that 3/4 of the money that they're taking in dues, they're using for other stuff. Tell us where it goes.
I'm not saying it. They say it themselves.
It's their reporting, right?
Yeah. I'm just reporting what they say.
Where does the money go?
A lot of it goes for political purposes. I mean, President Obama would not have been reelected president if it were not for the money and organization that the unions put in. It is that simple. They made him the president.
Defend that point of view. We did hold an election, and more people voted for him than voted for our guy. Defend that point of view that the unions are the reason he won.
Yeah, let me just give you a couple of minor statistics. The unions spent on that election over $500 million. Now, they talk about super PACs, and nobody even came close. They put 400,000 people on the streets to work for Team Obama. A single union, the SEIU, which was a union that the president originally was an organizer for prior to him going into political office, they reported that they put 100,000 volunteers on the ground for Team Obama. But let's just take a state, if I might. Let's take the state of Ohio as an example. In just Ohio, and Ohio was won big by Obama, and big means he won it by about 150,000 votes. The AFL-CIO, just the AFL-CIO, registered over 70,000 union household voters, and they got the vast majority to the poll to vote for Obama. And we believe they voted for Obama since they registered them, and they said they were for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, the SEIU had 2,300 full-time volunteers, and these people just focused on the African-American share of the vote and the Latino share of the vote. On top of that, the AFL-CIO contacted 800,000 voters during the last 4 days before the election in just Ohio alone. I mean,
There's
it was
massive.
Massive.
There's no way the Republican Party could ever match that. You're talking about something that can only be done if you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people to do this. And I think you're implying here that the majority of them were in volunteering, that this was money that was spent for the purpose of having this monstrous effort in place to get out the vote for Obama in Ohio. You're suggesting that the public employee unions had such a massive ground game in identifying these voters that they found them and got them to the polls. Whether you're enthusiastic about voting or whether or not you're dragged in by somebody who works for a public employee union, your vote counts the same. And I think that manpower effort that they have, this explains how the Obama turnout was as high as it was.
You're absolutely right. You summed it up better than even I could. In Shadow Bosses, we go into the detail of how this all works. But nobody could compete with that ground game. No one can. And nobody has the money that these unions have. It is just shocking. And they get 75% of their money, almost 75%, from the forced dues states. Those are the states that say you can't have a job if there's a union there unless you pay union dues. You have no choice in the matter. You have to pay the union to keep your job.